Hello dear students, welcome to BAJIRAM IAS Academy interview guidance program. So in this lecture we are going to discuss about the sub-categorization of OBCs, and the central government has appointed Justice Rohini-Commission, Justice G. Rohini-Commission, for the purpose of sub-categorization of OBCs. Now before discussing this news article, we need to understand what exactly is the sub-categorization of OBCs. So why there is a need to subcategorize OBCs? Now if you understand the reservation structure in India, the government has provided 27% of reservation for the other backward classes. They are socially and educationally backward classes, right? So OBCs are socially and educationally backward classes, and the Indian Constitution has provided, or the legislature, the parliament has provided 27% of reservation for the other backward classes. So in this context, so within the OBCs there are different caste groups. So there are few caste groups who are socially progressive, economically and educationally progressive, and also within OBCs there are few backward classes. So still the reservation benefits not penetrate to these minute and poorest sections within OBCs. So the overall purpose of subcategorization of OBCs is to ensure the reservation benefits will be equitably distributed across all caste groups within OBCs. Okay. So this is a diverse, OBCs constitute a diverse caste groups. So in this context, subcategorization of OBCs to ensure equitable distribution of resources to all the sections within all the caste groups within the OBCs is the overall objective of G. Rohini Commission. So, apart from this, we have provided 15% of reservation for scheduled caste and 7.5% of reservation for scheduled tribes. So within the scheduled caste also there are different caste groups who are not progressive enough to actually benefit from the existing reservation policy. So the overall objective of subcategorization is to ensure the reservation benefits will be equitably distributed across all caste groups within OBCs, scheduled caste or scheduled tribes. So now we are talking about the subcategorization of other backward classes. So I hope you understood the basic concept behind subcategorization of OBCs. So for the purpose of subcategorization of OBCs, Justice G. Rohini Commission has been appointed by the center in the year 2017. Now we need to understand why this is in news. Okay, so the report of the commission set up to examine the subcategorization of other backward classes, who are otherwise known as OBCs, are socially educationally backwards classes of the society. So Justice G. Rohini Commission submitted its report to the President Draupadi Murmu. Okay, so even though the report has been submitted to the President, but the actual content of the report and what are the recommendations of this commission, how the existing 27% of the reservation should be distributed across all caste groups in an equitable manner. So the details were not yet out, right? So if you look at the Justice G. Rohini Commission, so it is a 4-member commission, and this commission is headed by Justice G. Rohini, right? So this commission is headed by Justice G. Rohini. She is actually a retired Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, and this commission was appointed on 2017. So this is a brief background about the subcategorization of other backward classes and Justice G. Rohini Commission. Now, as I have already told you about this subcategorization of OBCs and the commission which is being appointed for this purpose, and it is discussed here. So OBCs are granted 27% of the overall reservation. So we all know that our existing reservation structure has 60% of the total posts in educational institutions, even in government employment, are reserved for economically weaker sections, OBCs, SCs and STs. Apart from that, so few posts are also reserved for disabled individuals. In this reservation pie, 27% of the total posts are reserved for the other backward classes or socially educationally backward classes by the central government. However, so there's a widespread perception. What was this perception about the reservation, 27% reservation that is being provided for the other backward classes? So this widespread perception that only a few wealthy communities within the OBCs. So within OBCs, for example, Yadavs, so they are dominant caste groups in Bihar and UP. So they are progressive and wealthy communities within the OBCs, and if you do not subcategorize the 27% of the reservation within OBCs, most of the reservation benefits will be derived, or the reservation benefits will be OBCs will get the reservation benefits. Okay, so other weaker sections will not get the reservation benefits within the OBCs. So therefore, few wealthy communities over OBCs constitute around 2,600 total caste groups. Okay, so central list of other backward classes constitute 2,600 caste groups, right? So within the 27% of the reservation, few wealthy communities are getting majority of the benefits of this 27% of the reservation. So therefore, there was a need which felt that there is a need to subcategorize the OBCs, other backward classes, or socially educationally backward classes. So if you look at the subcategorization at state level, overall in India, 9 states have already gone ahead with the subcategorization of OBCs. Now what are those states? The states are Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Puducherry, Karnataka, Haryana, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Bihar, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu. So these were the 9 states which have already done the subcategorization of OBCs. Okay, so in the same spirit, the central government has also tasked Justice G. Rohini-Commission to decide that this 27% of the reservation should be equitably distributed across all caste groups within the OBCs. Now, so in the year 2020, so there was a constitution bench of the Supreme Court, so that was constituted, and this constitution bench has actually reopened the legal debate on subcategorization of not just OBCs but also scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Okay, so this constitution bench has reopened the legal debate about this reservation. Now in the year 2005 itself, there was a constitution bench of the Supreme Court. Okay, so the constitution bench of the Supreme Court has held that there are unequals within the list of SCs, STs and socially educationally backward classes. Okay, so the Supreme Court in the year 2005 has accepted that, widely accepted that there are inequals within different categories, SCs, STs and socially educationally backward classes. However, the same Supreme Court in the year 2005, E.V. Chennaiya versus State of Andhra Pradesh. So in this case, please remember this case, E.V. Chennaiya versus State of Andhra Pradesh. So in this case, the Supreme Court held that scheduled caste form one of the homogeneous group. Okay, so they form one of the homogeneous group, right? So scheduled caste, scheduled tribes are socially educationally backward classes. So within the category of SC or ST, there are different castes, but Supreme Court opined that they are a homogeneous category, so therefore there's no need for subcategorization within the OBCs. This is what the Supreme Court has opined that. However, in 2020, the Supreme Court Constitution Bench has reopened the legal debate. Okay, now in the year 2005, what Supreme Court has held that the subcategorization or classification within the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes or other socially educationally backward classes would be amounts to violation of Article 40, right to equality. Okay, so this amounts to violation of Article 14, and this is what the interpretation of the Supreme Court in the year 2005 in E.V. Chennaiya versus State of Andhra Pradesh case. So in other words, it actually prohibited the subcategorization within SCs. Okay, so within SCs, the Supreme Court has not permitted the subcategorization. Okay, so the Supreme Court referred the issue to the preferential treatment for certain subcaste within SCs and STs to a larger bench. Okay, so the Supreme Court has opined that there is a need to refer or prefer this case to the larger bench of the Supreme Court to decide whether there's a need for subcategorization within SCs, STs and OBCs. The argument that subcategorization or creating categories within OBCs for reservation, it actually to ensure equitable distribution of representation among all OBCs. Okay, so the overall objective is ensuring equitable distribution. Okay, so ensuring equitable distribution of representation within the OBCs across all caste groups. Okay, so to examine this and recommend the reservation slabs for different castes within OBCs, the central government has constituted Justice G. Rohini Commission in the year 2017. And this is what is about Justice Rohini Commission and subcategorization of OBCs. Now in this context, we need to understand what is Rohini Commission. Okay, so Rohini Commission was constituted in the year 2017. We all know about that. So it was constituted as per Article 340 of the Indian Constitution. Okay, so the President has approved constitution of the Justice G. Rohini Commission for the subcategorization of OBCs, and this commission was constituted under Article 340 of the Indian Constitution. Now in this context, we need to understand what is Article 340. Now Article 340 empowers the President of India to appoint a commission to investigate issues concerning OBCs. Okay, so Article 340 has actually empowers the President to appoint a commission, appoint a committee to investigate the issues which concerns OBCs, and the commission can make recommendations to improve their existing situation, and this is what Article 340 has been specifically talking about. So taking powers from this particular article in the Constitution, Indian President has appointed Justice G. Rohini Commission for the subcategorization of OBCs. Okay, so I am repeating it again and again so that you will understand the basic concept behind subcategorization of scheduled OBCs. Now, prior to constituting Justice Rohini Commission, the center had granted the National Commission for Backward Classes. We all know that earlier National Commission for Backward Classes was not a constitutional body. So it was just a statutory body. So unlike National Commission for Scheduled Castes, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. Okay, so therefore the center under Article 102nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 2018 has provided constitutional status for the National Commission for Backward Classes, and this is what you have to remember about National Commission for Backward Classes. Now in this context, we need to understand the terms of reference. So when a committee is being appointed, for example, even for the Finance Commission also, so there are some terms of reference which are provided by the government to the commission to look into different aspects within the subcategorization of OBCs. So to investigate the extent of inequalities, the first terms of reference for the G. Rohini Commission is to investigate the extent of inequitable distribution of reservation benefits. Now this 27% of the reservation benefits have been provided for the OBCs. Now this commission will decide how the distribution, what is the actual situation of distribution of these reservation benefits among different castes within OBCs. So OBCs is a broad category. Around 2,600 caste groups are included in the OBC category. And the second terms of reference is develop a mechanism, criteria or norms, even parameters for the subcategorization. Okay, so there will be a separate mechanism, there will be a criteria, norms and parameters for the subcategorization within the OBCs using a scientific approach. Okay, using a scientific approach, so this commission will decide mechanism, criteria, norms and parameters. So the third terms of reference is to begin a process of identifying and classifying respective castes, communities and subcastes in the central list of OBCs. Okay, so this will identify the respective caste groups, communities, subcaste, everything. So to review existing entries in the central list of OBCs and recommend changes to any repetitions, ambiguities, inconsistencies, spelling or transcription errors, etc. Okay, so all these are terms of reference which are being provided for the Justice Rohini Commission. So this is, this slide is, the content which is in this slide is not that much of important, but you have to understand what is subcategorization of OBCs and which committee has tasked with this, subcategorization. Now, in this context, we need to understand the challenges which are being faced by Justice G. Rohini Commission. Okay, so the first and foremost challenge in this regard is absence of data on the population. Okay, so there were different communities, and OBC is also a broad category of communities. So therefore, there's virtually lack of absence of population or absence of data on the population of various communities to compare with the representation in jobs and admissions. Okay, so the second most important challenge in this regard is in December 2018, the commission wrote the government asking for a budgetary provision for all India survey to estimate the population of various OBCs. Okay, so in 2017 this commission was appointed, and in the year 2018 the commission actually wrote to the government to provide a budgetary provision. So there should be a budgetary provision so for the all India survey to estimate the population of various OBCs. So however, this decision to provide a budgetary provision was actually decided not to undertake such a survey at this stage. Okay, so these are the major challenges, and in recent times we have seen there were widespread demands across different states for the caste census, conducting caste census. In fact, Bihar has gone ahead and conducts a caste census. In earlier lectures we have discussed about the merits and demerits of conducting such a caste survey, Okay, so therefore OBC groups and almost all political parties except BJP central leadership have continued to demand a caste census. So they have been demanding a caste census. Now why they are demanding a caste census? So there are both positives and negatives with respect to the caste census. So when we talk about the positives of a caste census, so it will help us know the socio-economic structure, socio-economic backwardness of different communities across different states. So thereby targeted policies can be undertaken for those communities in order to uplift them. So however, the very same caste census can be utilized by several political parties for the vote bank politics, and even to direct appeals to those communities and neglecting the minorities. So there are challenges, there are issues with the caste census. So in fact, the Bihar legislature has twice anonymously passed resolutions calling for such caste census, and in fact Bihar has already conducted such a caste census within the state. Okay, so therefore this is all about the sub-categorization of OBCs and Justice G. Rohini Commission. In fact, the reservation benefits have to be equitably distributed across all caste groups within OBCs. Otherwise, there is no meaning providing 27% of the reservation for OBCs, and the majority share of this reservation is getting benefiting the progressive and wealthy sections within OBCs, such as Yadavs and other progressive communities. Okay, so there are several other caste groups who are deprived, marginalized. So therefore, the equitable distribution and equitably sharing all the reservation benefits across all caste groups is essence of providing 27% of the reservation, and Justice Rohini Commission is actually tasked with that purpose. Okay, so that is all about subcategorization of OBCs, and thank you so much. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel and also hit the like button if you really like our video. So please comment on any of your suggestions, any of your doubts, so that we can answer those questions in the comment section. Thank you.